Beck Studio NX. This is Timeout Overtime on the Timeout Overtime YouTube channel. I'm your host, Rick Arsenal. As usual, thanks for watching. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Before we go any further, if you haven't done so yet, please get down there in the corner and smash that like and subscribe button. You could be doing me a big favor. Not going to do a real long show tonight. By that, I mean, normally we go about 20 minutes or so. I'll probably be closer to 15. Tigers did win today. They got a split in the Cleveland series. A couple of things on the Lions in training camp. That's about it. So let's get started here. I did want to say one thing, too. I've been going through a lot of the last few days. I've been looking at a lot of trade proposals and scenarios that sports writers across the nation are putting out. Happens every year. The closer we get to the trade deadline, you've got all these proposals. I don't think the Tigers are going to trade Derek Skubal. But it would take an unbelievable offer, Godfather type offer that you can't refuse in order to get this done. And I came across one scenario in which I actually think if this were proposed by the Orioles, I think I would do it. So we'll get into that a little bit later on. So, anyhow, Timeout Overtime is sponsored in part by Frank Beck Chevrolet and M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville. If it's time for a new-to-you vehicle, let the sales professionals at Beck's help you choose the right vehicle. New or pre-owned, Beck's has the top selection in the tri-state area with over 200 vehicles in stock. Stop by and see for yourself, and when you're ready, ask for Russ McMorty, Chris Hodis, Danny Smith, Adam Schaefer, Blake Bryant, Cameron Mincio, Bob Flynn, or Peyton Lucas. And when it comes time to service that new-to-you vehicle, the service pros at Beck's can fix it. Any make, any model, Ford or domestic, Beck's can fix it. And if you have a bit of a crunch or fender bender, Beck's Body Shop can put it back together just as good as new. Pardon me. So for all your automotive needs, what? Look no further than Frank Beck Chevrolet and M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville at 517-849-2886 or on the web at frankbeckchevy.com. Wow. Come and experience the Frank Beck difference. Together, let's drive. And here goes the voice again. Pardon me, folks. Hang on just a second. And don't forget, I'm going to keep hammering this out to you until the actual event happens. There's a very special event coming up on Saturday, September the 14th at Frank Beck Chevrolet. And in just a few minutes, I'll give you all the details. Okay. Tigers did win today. They shut out the Guardians 3-0 behind their bullpen. Tyler Holton led the way. He started, pitched a couple of innings. So I hope they don't trade Tyler at the trade deadline. He's been a gem of consistency all year. They're one guy out of that bullpen. Anybody wonder, too, Javi Baez had the only RBIs in the game. He hit a 3-run homer in the second inning, his second home run of the year. And that was all the scoring. But, you know, I have to wonder, watching this Cleveland Guardian team, are you wondering the same thing that I'm wondering? Tigers had not played them 8 times in the last 11 days. And they won 5 out of the 8. I think 3 losses were all 1-run losses. 1 in Detroit and 2 in Cleveland. In fact, I'm sure they were all close games. But how did watching this Cleveland team, how did they get to be 20 games over 500? Obviously, we don't see much of them. With the new scheduling now, we only see them 13 times a year. In fact, they'll be Detroit for 2 more games on Monday and Tuesday, and that's it. We're all done with the Guardians for this year. But in just the little bit that I've seen of them, how do they, what, do with smoke and mirrors or something, or what? How do they get to be 20 games over 500 and in first place in American League Central? I don't get it. Tigers, I don't know what the season series is. They played 11 games right now. I'd have to go back and look that up. I think of the 11 games, let's see, the last 8, the Tigers were 5-3. There was one series before that. I think the Guardians won 2 out of 3 there. So right now they are 7-5, or 7-4. Tigers right now, as we speak, I think are 7-4 against the Guardians with 2 games left. So no, I don't know. Like I said, we don't see much of them, and I don't know. To me, they just don't look like a very good team. I mean, they changed managers this year. They've got a rookie manager. Terry Francona is, of course, not there anymore. But I don't see it. I don't get it. I just don't understand. Like I said, there have been a lot of catch up to date on a few things going on in the sports world too. Now that training camps have opened up in the NFL, you may or may not have heard Pro Bowl tackle Trent Williams of the 49ers is not in camp. He's holding out. Well, what's new? He's holding out. He's in the 4th year of a 6-year contract. Now, that pays him $138 million. I think most of it was front loaded. He's in the 4th year of the contract and wants to redo it. Wants more money. And he's not in camp right now. He's holding out. And since he is under contract, he will be getting fined, a hefty fine for every day that he misses camp. Now, Brandon Ayuk, the wide receiver that wants a new contract, is in camp, working out of his own, but he's not practicing. You may or may not have heard, too, that the Jordan Love of the Packers is in camp in Wisconsin, working out on the side on his own, but he's not participating in practice. He wants a new contract, too. He wants more money. He wants to get paid. Don't they all want to get paid? Really? How much money is enough? It's pretty hard for the ordinary person to relate to the kind of money nowadays that's being thrown around. And then millions of dollars. I mean, how much money do you need to live comfortably? And it seems like no matter how much they have, it's never enough. It's getting, well, it's getting pretty, what's the word I'm looking for here? Hard to fathom that they just don't seem to, regardless of how much they make, they just don't seem to have enough money. Anyway, Lion Camp continues in Allen Park. We'll talk a little bit about that, but before we do, I want to remind you about this special event. As I told you, once we're done here in a few minutes, go to your calendar, mark it down. Saturday, February the 14th. It's a very special day, as Frank Meck Chevrolet will be celebrating their 9th annual Salute to First Responders. This year will be a special tribute to the Hillsdale County Sheriff's Department. It certainly will. Bring the kids, let them get up close to emergency vehicles, meet police and firefighters, play games and more. Enjoy a free lunch, sign up for prizes. as we celebrate the area's first responders. Plus, there will be a poker run as well. So that's Saturday, September the 14th, from 10 to 2 at Frank Beck Chevrolet and M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville. Come and experience the Frank Beck difference. So you can find out more information on that on the web at frankbeckchevy.com. A very, very special day, a fun day for the family out there. Don't miss it. 10 to 4, 10 to 2. Bring the kids, they'll have a good time. Fun day for everybody. As the ninth annual honoring of our area's first responders. And this year, especially, makes that even more relevant. So please mark that down, and if you can all make it, make sure you're out there. Lions training camp. A couple of standouts. I'm not going to have a whole lot to say about it. Dan Campbell spoke this morning. I did not see it. Monday is 8 o'clock press conference. I'll have to go back in tonight and watch that on YouTube, see what he had to say. But security is very tight for the Lion practices, which open to the public on Saturday. Be prepared if you're headed there. And first of all, if you don't have a ticket, don't bother even going because they're gone. Security will be very tight, probably even tighter than it has been for Secret Service, but that's a whole other story. One stat, too, that Dave Burkett brought up. The Lions were the conference runner-up last year, losing in the NFC Championship game. The last time the conference runner-up won the Super Bowl the following season was 1996 when the Packers did it. You got to go back, 28 years since that happened? I think the Lions are going to change that this year. Oh, Super Bowl or bust, right? Oh. Two players I think we should keep our eye on in the preseason. Number 80 on offense, Antoine Green, and number 4 on defense, Emmanuel Mosley. I couldn't be happier for Mosley. He looks like he's completely healed from his 2 ACL injuries. He will be one of the team leaders in that secondary back there. So keep your eyes on number 4 on defense. And don't know that he's going to see much action in preseason, but Emmanuel Mosley looks like he's totally healed and pumped and ready to go. Hang on. This is so darn frustrating, I'm telling you. If we got you caught up on everything pretty much, Lions training camp, first public practice is Saturday. They put the pads on Monday, the 29th. And the first preseason game is 2 weeks from tonight in New Jersey against the Giants. Prior to that, they will be there for a few days taking part in a joint practice session, just like the Giants were here last year. I think you will see the veterans participating in that only. They will not be playing in the game. I doubt very much you'll see any regulars at all in the preseason. One good thing Dan Campbell did point out in his press conference yesterday that they fully expect DJ Reader to be ready for Sunday night, September the 8th, as they do Kevin Ziegler, the guard, right guard, Pro Bowl guard that they signed from the Ravens. Brian Branch is going to be ready to go. Anybody that's been nicked up, he doesn't see any serious injuries right now. He thinks they're all going to be good and ready to go. You got to remember one thing too. In training camp, once they put the pads on, uh, players are going to get nicked up. They will get scrapes here and there, and it happens. All part of the process. What happens when you're in the NFL and put pads on, you start hitting one another. Somebody's going to get hurt. Let's just hope it's not too serious. Uh, I'll say a couple of words about Tim Lindley at Quality PC in downtown Hillsdale at 37 Waldron Street, a couple hundred feet west of Howell. Any technical needs at all, get in there and see Tim and his assistant Colin. Computers that were used. Maybe the computer you have now needs a little work done on it. Flat screen TV, mounting, setup, internet service, installation. What are we missing here? Printers, new or used, anything at all. Get in there, please. Get in there and see him. You won't find a more tech savvy guy than this guy. We are so grateful to have him in our area here. Someone with his technical knowledge. Anyway, again, that's at 517. You can call him at 517-610-5372. Or better still, get in there and see him at 37 Waldron Street in downtown Hillsdale. When you do, tell him me and Mickey sent you. Will you please? Thank you. I have looked at a lot of different trade proposals regarding both Tarek Skubal and Jack Flaherty in the last couple of weeks. And what do we got now? 6 days until the trade deadline? I think we do. Yep. I found one in particular. Well, I talk about Godfather type deals that you can't refuse for Tarek Skubal, and I came across one. And this probably was the only one that I found. Actually, I think if they were to do this deal, it would make the Tigers, it would set the Tigers up for next season. It would make them a better team immediately. Yeah, they would miss Skubal, but this is the one deal that I think I would not refuse, and the only one that I found. And who do we have this from? This from Derek Hutchinson of Click on Detroit. Derek Hutchinson. I was reading this the other day. He writes, the Orioles just might be desperate enough to offer the Tigers 3 or 4 major league ready prospects. And they happen to be the franchise with the best offensive prospects that they can offer. But as he writes here, I am also skeptical that the Orioles would pull the trigger on some kind of a mega deal being bandied about, like MLB insiders say. But several people in the know seem to think Baltimore is motivated to make a serious run at Skubal, especially if they find out, or apparently now we're being told the Yankees are trying to get involved. Well, the Orioles right now are battling it out for first place in the American League Eastern Division. And it's a rivalry, division rival. And I'm sure neither team wants to see Skubal end up on the other side. So he broke this down. He writes, when I broke down what it would have to take for the Tigers to give up Skubal, I included 6 possible players from the Orioles organization. They are as follows. Corner infielder Kobe Mayo, all 6'5" or 230 pounds of him. Catcher Sam Basallo, the 12th rated overall prospect in all of baseball. Mayo is 15. Infielder Jordan Westberg. Outfielder Colton Cowser, Cowser. Outfielder Heston Kjerstad, who's already with the team right now, doing very well. And second baseman Connor Norby. Apparently acquiring the number 1 prospect, Jackson Holliday, might not be out of the question because he wasn't on that list of 6. Apparently, number 1 prospect, Jackson Holliday, might not be out of the question. If that's the case, the Tigers could really beef up their offense in one fell swoop. He writes, let's assume the Orioles don't want to take away from their players they already have on their roster. So Westberg and Cowser are off the table. That still leaves the Tigers with an embarrassment of options to pursue. Here's how the Tigers could trade Skubal to the Orioles and improve this year's roster. They could get Jackson Holiday. It's hard to overstate how much this would help the Tigers at shortstop. It would have to be on the day that Javier Baez hits a home run. But so far this season, the Tigers have been by far, and I mean by far, the worst team in baseball in terms of production from shortstop. And I need to get into that. They've got nothing from the shortstop position. Holiday could come to Detroit and be an immediate improvement at the most important infield position. As number one prospect in baseball, he's number two for Baseball America. Holiday received a rare 70 grade as a hitter. He also was well above average power and speed, as well as strong throwing arm and a great glove. He's only 20 years old. He could immediately turn the Tigers' greatest weakness into probably their greatest strength. It's a sure thing. No, it's not a sure thing. Prospects never are. But if Holiday even comes close to reaching his potential, he would be an enormous upgrade over Baez. In short, then, what would the lineup look like if they were to make this deal? I don't have time to read the whole thing here. Here's a potential lineup that they would field after making this trade. Leading off, playing center field, Riley Green. Batting second, playing shortstop, Jackson Holiday. Hitting third at second base, Colt Keith. Cleanup, batting fourth at first base, Kobe Mayo. Hitting fifth, left field, Connor Norby. Batting sixth in right field, Wencio Perez, who just missed another home run today. Batting seventh, the DH, Justin Henry Malloy. Batting eighth, the third baseman, Gio Urshela. Boy, I hope they don't trade him. Batting ninth and catching, Jake Rogers. That doesn't look that bad, folks. Really doesn't look that bad. This is really tough. It's a tough call for Scott Harris. And he can always just say no one keeps Skubal because he doesn't have to trade him. But if this type of an offer comes in, he might need to make a very difficult decision. No truer words were ever spoken. Again, I wouldn't want to be in Scott Harris's place. I doubt very much he's getting much sleep these days. Let's just hope and pray he does the right thing. I'm sure that he will trade Jack Flaherty. He more than likely made his last start for the Tigers last night. It was very good. 6 innings. He did give up 1 unearned run, but 6 innings, no earned runs. He was very good last night. So, that's about it for today. Don't forget the Timeout Show every Saturday morning here locally on WCSR 92.1 FM. Boy, and if I have a voice, and again, I apologize for this. What? If I have a voice, I will talk to you again on Saturday. So until then, remember, please treat each other with respect and have a good evening, everyone.